Wanted to talk to you a little bit about caladiums. These guys, they come as bulbs. Usually, I mean, you can find them in your garden centers already bloomed this way, but you can get them as bulbs. You can order them. I think there's like Caladiums Direct or something like that. Don't quote me. I mean, if you just Google caladium bulbs, you'll find lots of different sites that carry them, and order them well before the spring, so as soon as you hit spring you can start planting them. They really take off easily. A lot of my videos, I just want people to understand that your average person could do all of this stuff, and that's kind of why I'm doing it, is so you can see that I'm not some kind of expert, but what I've done has worked out really nice, and it's really easier than people make it out to be. I really like this leaf over here. These guys, yeah, they come in all sorts of varieties. What you want to do with these guys at the end of the season, dig them up, but you want to wait until late in the season, late, like I'd say probably November, December. Dig up these bulbs and put them in like a peat moss or something like that in your, in a cool, dark space. So I put them in like a big Tupperware with peat moss. I did it way too early last year and lost everything. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. Don't do it where it's going to still be too warm, because those things will deteriorate in there. So if you get a mild winter, they might actually live through the winter, but it's the risk you take if you want to keep them in the ground. To show you how easy these things really are, I'll show you one I missed. I saw this morning, gave me the idea for this video. And you see over here, as we plant bulbs, a lot of times the squirrels will dig up some. So I think a squirrel popped this little one out, and over here in the grass all by itself, with no encouragement, and a lawnmower running over this spot and everything, this little guy has been doing really well for itself. You see, these will get a lot bigger too. And I'm just gonna move this into the garden over here, clear away some mulch. I like to loosen the dirt up, because good drainage is a very important thing. If your soil gets too compacted, it'll suffocate your roots and you won't be able to get any more growth, and your plants generally die back or die off altogether. So you get a nice sized hole in there. Not that you even need it that deep, but again, the soil being loose underneath where you're planting it. So now we're going to put it in the ground as it was intended, instead of on top of the ground. But you see the way those roots really grab on. It doesn't take much, it doesn't take a whole lot. So you don't want to put the mulch right up against something that's brand new planting, so I try to give it a little bit of a breathing space there. And we'll keep an eye on that over the next couple of days, make sure the squirrels don't take that out. But you see, I just moved it over here with one hand while I held the camera. And just to show you, these are caladiums, and they come in all these beautiful varieties, and you can totally grow these yourself very easily. I also wanted to add that if you're getting bulbs, all of what I have now are very small bulbs. These are all little bulbs that I got after I lost my giant bulbs. But if you're buying bulbs and you want to figure out, should I buy the mammoth bulbs or should I want really big leaves, doesn't work that way. The mammoth bulbs are wonderful, but what you're getting from that is it's going to bloom with the amount of leaves that's about the size of a beach ball or a big basketball, as opposed to where you get 5-6 leaves off of a little bulb. They'll still get very big, no smaller than, see, this is a massive caladium leaf off of a tiny little bulb. But again, if you get the big bulbs, you'll get 8 of these leaves coming out of the ground at the same time, and it'll cover a lot of ground. So just depending on what your application is, because if you're doing it in a pot that's not all that big, you won't even need a large bulb. So you can you know, determine what kind of bulb you need based on that. So it's not necessarily larger leaves, it's larger overall plants. It's going to cover more circular space. So just keep that in mind. And again, not a big bulb. And look at all this foliage, so keep that in mind. The ones out of Walmart or wherever you get them, Home Depot, little bags of them will produce stuff like this.